Hey guys, I've just gone live now, so I'll wait for people to log in. I've got a load of questions to get through. I've got the paper here written down, so I will answer those. Just give it a minute or so. I hope I posted the right link. I've just arrived in Yushu now. You can see actually it's a beautiful view behind. It's a city of around 80,000, I believe. But yeah, we're back down. We're back down safe. I can see people logging in now. Hey guys, thanks for joining. It's good to be back in the city, although not so soon. Hey, but I think it was the right choice. The film crew were pretty terrified and fell. Got pretty ill with the altitude sickness. And then my guide as well. He was in a bad way. His nose was bleeding. He was vomiting. He was quite a warrior though. He was pushing on. I think we hit day 3. And then we woke up that morning and he was just vomiting again. He was in a bad way and he kept pointing to his head, to his eyes, to his chest. And hey Jess, hey Gary, and yeah, it was pretty much game over from there. I didn't want to push him any further. We were still high. We had made it to the source. We were just under 5,000 meters at that point. So I listened to him, and it was the right decision to just get him off the mountains as soon as possible. So we did, and he's now back. We went to Zador, which is in Zador County, south of Qinghai Province. From there, we came to Yushu, and now my guide Gamma has headed off over to Xijing to see his family. And to rest, to seek medical attention as well, especially for his chest. He kept pointing around his chest area, which was a worry, So I gave him some medication. I said, get yourself to the doctors, and so hopefully, fingers crossed, he's now okay. He's dropped down in altitude, which is great. So I'm now here in Yushu. I'm waiting for the film crew. We've had 2 film crew bail on me bail on me so far, but we might have found one who's been at altitude before, quite adventurous, quite hardcore. So I'm just waiting on him to fly out either Thursday or Friday. I've managed to find another guide, but this next section that we're going to is quite dangerous. A lot of bears, they're similar to Alaskan bears in terms of the death rate. I actually came out here thinking, no, don't be silly, surely the bears are okay, but it turns out they're not. My guide actually showed me a video where a bear just went inside someone's hut and killed the family, which is pretty worrying. So the guide won't come with me alone. He's bringing another one of his friends who's also a guide. So hopefully we'll be in a number of 4. But I'm raring to go. I've got to be, I don't know if you can see that, I've burnt my nose a bit. I need to get some more sun cream on there, but I'm raring to go. I got no aches, no pains, no blisters. The footwear's great, the clothing's great. I've just ordered a minus 23 degree sleeping bag though, because I've been delayed by another week or 2 now, and it's going to take me about 2 months to get off the mountains, in which I will face the winter, inevitably face the harsh conditions. So it's not going to be pleasant. So I'm just now preparing for that. Mentally, physically, I'm still training. I'm just in the hotel room, push-ups, sit-ups, dry bags with weights in or heavy equipment. So yes, yeah, good point. You go ahead, and I've got a list here of questions that my social media manager has sent me. So I've written them down. But if you've got any live questions, I just saw one from Ollie Pine. Hey Ollie. Yeah, how's my Chinese going? Well, I was hoping to practice my Chinese with my guide, but my guide turned out to be Tibetan. So I couldn't practice. But it's coming along well. The basics. 你有水吗? Which means, do you have any water? or Neo Chidama, which is do you have any food? I know stuff like your name, just the very basics really. I was only learning in Dali for about 3 weeks, so it's gonna take me years. But I will put, wow, fluent, there we go. I will put the practice in, and hopefully after these guys, I'll, I'll have some good Chinese guides who can really teach me, you know, because I've got a whole year of trekking the Yangtze, so I do need to definitely improve. A bit like Thai, yes, yeah, I still know a little bit of Thai actually. I still know a little bit of Thai. Spicy food I loved. Pad Magma, you know, very spicy. Thailand, great place. So I've got one of the first ones here. You guys fire away if you like, just ask questions. This is actually my first time doing a live Q&A. Hey Manuel, how's it going, matey? Good to see you on here. So yeah, this is my first time doing a live Q&A. I hope to do more along the way, you know, for sure. If I'm here for a year, I want to aim for at least one per month Q&A, which would be great. When's the start date? I start again. Shout out to the Kotao County Cricket Club, that's ace. I start again, hopefully Thursday, so I'm waiting for my film crew to arrive from Beijing. My guides are already here in Yushu, and so Thursday, Friday, we head back up onto the plateau. It's cold up there, it's wild, it's brutal. You know, it's kind of like what I said to my friends is it's kind of like Mongolia's big bad brother. You know, it's 360 degrees of complete wilderness. You're out there in the harsh environments, and the bears and wolves are of course a real threat. But regardless to the dangers, you know, it's beautiful. It is stunning. You know, so I can't wait to get cracking. I'm still full of energy. I just need to learn to enjoy it. Yes, I do. I do. And I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. It's great. It is great. Can't wait to get back up there and crack on. Get as much videos as I can, get as many photos, and share the experience with you guys. So one that I've got here, what is the biggest challenge? What is the biggest challenge you think you will face? The biggest challenge I think I will face, it's either this one now in the mountains, with the bears, with the wolves, with the altitude. You know, actually the humanitarian aspect was one that I wasn't expecting. You know, as much as I can prepare myself physically and mentally, of course I can't really prepare for what someone else's illness is, you know. So I like to think I prepared well, brought them off the mountains. They're all alive, they're all well, they're all safe back home with their families. So I think this either will be the dangerous scenario, is going back out onto the plateau in the next month or two when it hits the winter. It's gonna be vital that I've got the right equipment, that I stay warm. Or probably maybe the last 6 months as well, because you know I'm coming across more cities, but then there's different challenges where the Yangtze will be fenced off. I'll have the Tiger Leaping Gorge, I'll have the V-shaped valleys which block access to the river, and I'll have to be pretty much scrambling up and down these V-shaped valleys. And actually only 2 weeks ago, I think it was Tiger Leaping Gorge, there was 2 people who died. So that's been closed now. I think it's reopened recently. So yeah, I think the challenges are going to be, you know, going all the way through. Am I actually carrying my own gear like Mongolia? The plan was to carry my own rucksack, which is just here. It is 100 litres. And when I had the film crew, we had, you know, brought in a horse to carry the electronics and the videos for the film crew, video kit. But the film crew bailed on after one night's camping, so we couldn't ditch the horse. We couldn't get rid of the horse. Luckily there was a driver there. The driver escorted the team, the camera crew, back to the city, and they flew back to Shanghai. So me and my guide Gamma, we took the horse and we actually strapped the rucksacks to the horse, which was actually nice and light. I think mine's 35 kilograms, really heavy, but for a horse to carry, that's nothing. And with my guide's rucksack as well, let's say 65 kilograms. It's about the same weight as a light man. Um, so yeah, but the horse was slowing us down slightly. At first, my guide was slowing me down, and then the horse was getting tired, and so we took some weight off the horse, and now we're gonna get rid of the horse, and I'm just gonna go by strapping the backpack over me. So it's gonna be 35 kilograms, really heavy. Yes, that's right, banana shakes. Hey, I found a peanut butter shake today, a peanut butter milkshake. Oh, I was in my element. I couldn't believe it. A big fat cheeseburger with chips and a peanut and a peanut butter milkshake. I loved it. I'll probably order it again today. I'll put some extra fat on before I go to the mountains again. But yeah. What's this? You just fire away if you got any more. It's a shame we can't. It's a shame YouTube can't let all of us access the video, so we can have like one big video conference call. Effectively, there's 23 of us now, which isn't bad for the first live Q&A on YouTube. The YouTube sucked recently. I need to really work on the YouTube. It's Facebook, Instagram, all of that is going great. But we're actually going to be posting 1-minute videos every week in about 4 weeks' time to YouTube. So, you know, if you're on YouTube and you've got an account, you know, make sure you subscribe, because there will be some cool content, cool videos, professionally done by Mandarin Films in Beijing. So yes, what's the other one? What's the biggest difference between now and what's this? The biggest mental challenge. Good question. The biggest mental challenge, I think, will be the duration of the expedition. You know, a whole year is nothing to play. You know, a week's camping is quite an ordeal. 2 weeks is pretty hardcore. You know, a month is getting a little bit insane. 12 months is just simply ridiculous. So I think the duration of the expedition is what will mentally get to me. But what's exciting is there's lots of different activities along the way. Like Kailas, my clothing brand sponsor, they're looking to send out 15 customers to join me. You know, we're looking at getting some local influencers here in China. There's talks of delegates, government officials potentially joining me. And of course, there's going to be different photographers and videographers. So unlike Mongolia, when it was completely solo and unsupported, China, I think, is going to be fun, because it's going to be so diverse throughout in terms of terrain and weather, but also different people joining me. And that's it, you know, for you guys. I know Manuel, who's signed in on here, is looking to join me. And anyone is free to join me on this mission. Maybe not for this section, maybe not for the first few months, but after that, you know, people are free to fly out and join me on the mission. I know Martin Lyons too, photographer. My photographer back in the UK, back in Wales, is going to be joining me, and my friend Matt. So yeah, if you want to join, do it. What do I miss most about Wales? Apart from family and friends, I do miss cheese on toast, peanut butter, banana milkshakes, and my gym, you know, the Lion's Den. I miss the Lion's Den. I was training today in this room, bulking up a little bit, you know. I've got energy to burn. I was only 3 days up in the mountains, so it's not a lot for me, you know, considering I've been training for 2 years. So yeah, the training, horrible place. So Manuel's from Germany, and last time he came to Wales, it just rained every day. But yeah, it's many things, but I feel focused and feel ready for the next year. That's the main thing. At least I can start again with a beard. Yeah, I wish I could grow a beard on my nose to protect me from the sun, because I'm sick of putting sun cream on. My nose just always burns. Favourite item of clothing, I think, or piece of kit. If it's piece of kit, yeah, take care, buddy. Take care, Manuel. If it's piece of kit, I'd probably have to say the sleeping bag, because there's nothing better than at night time. You know, it's cold, it's windy, it's stormy. Your hands are freezing just putting the pegs in, you know, your hands are falling apart. But when you get inside your sleeping bag, for some reason, although there's a little bit of, material being the tent, you feel safe, you feel secure, and you feel comfortable. You know, you're in your little life capsule in that sleeping bag. But I found that the sleeping bag was really cold because there's been major delays. So I've just ordered a minus 23 degree sleeping bag from Kailas. So that will arrive on Wednesday before I shoot out. Ellis, I think I just saw a question from you. It's disappeared off my screen. I don't think I can access it. Do I listen to music? Yeah, I listen to a lot of music. A lot of music. Rap. I listen to a lot of rap music when I'm in the game, in the zone, you know, when it's head down, making some good distance. I listen to travel music when I'm in the zone of just looking around me at the sheer wilderness, you know, like Moby and Chicane. There's lots of travel music, actually. There's too much to mention. And I like a lot of the Spanish music, reggaeton. So yeah, I've got a playlist of over 1,500 tunes easily. What temperatures at the moment? No, it's such extremes. Bugsy Malone, yeah, Bugsy Malone I listen to. I just saw that. I forgot which one it is. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. A few years ago. Christ, is it? How long ago was that? How long ago was that? That was it 2008? 2008 I left, so 10 years ago. It was a decade already. No way is it a decade already. But yeah, I think straight after college, I was just lifeguarding at Clandino Swimming Centre. From there, saving the money, going off, travelling. So I've been doing this for a long time now. But yeah, you're right, it is overwhelming because it gets bigger, it gets better, it gets more daunting. You know, it becomes more serious for sure. So I put a lot of training, a lot of effort, a lot of hard work, which is needed. But yeah, that's right. It's exciting. It's exciting. What else have we got? We got loads. I don't think I'm going to get through them all, to be honest. How are you coping with the setback? Good question. At first, I was kind of like, oh no, you know, we're gonna have to go back to Zador. We've only just started 3 days. But then when I woke up the morning that we actually went back to the city, I saw the state of my guide, Garmin. And so I didn't even see it as a setback. I saw it as a must. You know, I must get this guy off the mountains, back to the city, because the worst case scenario, where, you know, you can actually die in your sleep from altitude sickness. There's been lots of known people to die on Everest Base Camp, which is about the same height as the mountains that we were at, in their sleep, you know, which is scary. So even if he got through the day, yeah, Conway Jewelers, take care, bud, take care, sight. Even if we got through the day, you know, at night time, it could still be serious. So yeah, I don't see it as I always mention it as a bow and arrow, you know. In order for the arrow to be launched forward, sharpish, with great accuracy, you know, it's got to be brought back by the bow. And that's how I see this for me, is I'm being brought back slightly, but now I'm more focused, I'm more determined, and I'm more eager to get going again. So it's almost time to release that arrow. That's the way I see it. What are you most scared of? That's a good question. What am I most scared of? Philosophy 101 with that's a good question. You know, a lot of this expedition is still unknown. It is unknown, you know, and it's been very difficult to plan the logistics to this. Unlike Madagascar on Mongolia, I was able to find good logistics managers who pretty much knew a lot of the country. With this, I'm almost going in blind in many sections. So you know, there's a lot that is unknown. But right now, my main focus, because I always look at breaking down my goals, breaking down the sections, my main focus is back in the mountains. You know, the bears. The wolves I'm not too phased about, but the bears, you know, they're serious. They do attack. I didn't think so before, you know, I thought it was quite rare. But the bears can be pretty brutal, so I think that's my biggest concern. What was that, Ollie? Something? Will I be drinking from the river or eating from the river? Yeah, probably, most likely. You know, along the way, because this is actually being filmed by CCTV. Yeah, fishing, yeah, most likely. Because it's being filmed by CCTV, they've actually set me different tasks. One of them is actually, I'm sure you remember my Muay Thai days, Ollie. One of them is actually, they want me to compete against a, against a Kung Fu master. Well, master or not, I don't know. But thanks, Tiffany. Um, they want me to compete against him in Kung Fu. They want me to try the most ridiculous foods, the hottest chili, and they also want to see some survival along the way. So yeah, you're right, fishing will be a part of that. Gathering, you know, I like to learn from the locals, so I will be stopping at different communities and villages along the way, and I hope to be educated by them, you know, how they survive in, you know, these harsh environments. But that's only for the first 6 months, you know. For the second 6 months, I'll be coming across a lot of cities, but people still, you know, do a lot of survival around there. They still have a lot of different techniques, a lot of cool rituals. Cheers, Gary. So I want to just really soak up all of that, get involved, fully submerge myself, and get to understand their way, you know. And that's the exciting stuff as well. Like, this is very wild. I'm concentrating more on survival, so it's difficult to share as much photos and videos, which I definitely will. It's only been 3 days. But the second half, although there's more cities, more towns, I think it's just going to be so entertaining, as in I'm going to be coming across so much crazy stuff all of the time. And yes, Martin, actually, you're right. I came across, just in those 3 days, a lot of different nomads, similar with Mongolia, actually. There's nomads up in the mountains living in their gur, or yurt, as we say, their felt tent. And a lot of them have Tibetan Mastiffs strapped right outside. And these Tibetan Mastiffs are notorious for being ferocious, you know. They've got a stake in the ground and they're chained up for a very good reason. They're like a crossbreed between a bear and a wolf almost, you know, really furry, really big. So they're pretty much protecting the locals from either snow leopards, wolves, or bears. And these things are actually capable of hunting down snow leopards as well. I just saw a question from someone then. I missed that, unfortunately. I think it was, do I have a friend as an animal? I want a dog to follow me, for sure. I'd like a companion to follow along, especially because bears are scared of dogs, and horses too, I believe. So the horse, which one of the questions is here, is what's my horse's name? I did mention it, Castor Choi. I don't know if any of you guys have seen Face Off with Nicolas Cage. You know, he's a badass in that movie. And I thought, well, I've always called my, you know, things that trail along with me, like my chicken, Gertrude, or the bike in Vietnam, Elder. They're all kind of old lady names, you know. So I thought, I can't call this horse an old lady name when I've just had a film crew bail on me, a second film crew bail on me, and now my guide catch altitude sickness when this horse is, you know, it's still rocking and rolling. So I gave him a badass name and called him Castor Choi. I missed your message then, Martin. But I've got, do you think your crew will be able to keep up with the commitment on the mission? The crew will only be with me for short periods at a time. You know, the guides now, they'll be with me for 2 weeks, and the videographer 2-3 weeks, and then I might have no guide and no videographer. I'll be self-filming on the GoPros, and then after that, so it's pretty much at different points, guides and videographers will drop in. Guides not to lead me. I know where I'm going. I'm following a river, you know, it's not too difficult, but a guide in terms of translation and in terms of education. You know, I want to get the stories of the locals along the way, and I can't do that without speaking the local lingo. So having a guide there who's able to translate is key. In the V-shaped valley is what's the plan of attack to use the river or climb? I will be climbing. This is looking to be, you know, I'm tracking the whole way, so the Guinness World Records are following. So I can't use the flow of the river at all, even when I cross a tributary. You know, there's 750 tributaries along the Yangtze. So even when I cross the tributary, I've actually got to cross it going back on myself, so I'm not using the flow of the river. So that is vital. The track is set to track me every 5 minutes, so they can look at every point and see, you know, the distance that I've done within 5 minutes. And if it says that I've covered like a mile or half a mile within 5 minutes, of walking up a hill, which isn't too possible. They'll know that, you know, he's not done that by foot. So yes, I will be having to cross the treacherous V-shaped valleys, scrambling up. The longest tributary is, oh, good question. I'm not too sure. I know that when the Yangtze pours out into the East China Sea, near Shanghai, I think it's around 5 kilometers long in width, which is insane, you know. So maybe the tributaries, I think at its biggest, will be 100, 200 meters, maybe more. A plan of how to get around the dam. How do you get enough food? What's the windiest part of the river? Christ, I shouldn't have read them all at once. The dam, yeah, I'll have to detour away from the river for that one. I'll have to go up and around, for sure. As long as it's all tracked, I'll actually be doing more mileage. So as long as I'm not taking any vehicle, and there's no point, there's no way of me cheating whatsoever, and it's all tracked, then I'll be going around the Three Gorges Dam and join back up with the Yangtze River. And around that point is actually the deepest gorge in the world, I believe. So it's good that I'm going around, because I don't want to get too close to that thing. It's very rapidy, very white water rapids there. And then the second question, what did I think religion? I'm an open believer. I would say I'm an open believer. I'm acceptant to all different religions, so I don't necessarily pick one and don't necessarily stick to one. You know, I believe a lot in, because I was asked a question on here, do you pray? I believe an awful lot in hard work, preparation, training. You know, I work extremely hard. You know, so maybe there's some sort of faith. I'm not too sure as well. But a bit of everything. If I had a gun to my head and I had to pick one, I'd probably say Buddhism is a good one. Yeah. How do you feel being famous? No, I'm not famous. I'm just a normal guy doing crazy stuff. But it's growing big here in China. It is exciting, because the more that I see the Chinese social media channels grow, the more people are interested in joining. So I hope that this expedition will be, you know, will attract a lot of people to want to come along with me. Have I ever been where I want to turn back, or where I've had to turn back? Was that, Martin? With this one, oh, previous journeys. No. I've had to turn back. Yeah, I've had to turn back in the jungles of Madagascar. You know, the jungle was just too thick, too impenetrable to get on top of the mountain. So I had to do a U-turn, but walk 3 days back on myself, 3 whole days, machete in hand, hacking through the bush to reach back the previous community and find a different way around. Enough food. I take ration packs, so I've got my outdoor food ration packs, but a lot of the time I eat what the locals eat. So it's funny actually, because here they have a lot of pita bread, and it's funny, they came over the other day with a plate full of pita bread and, you know, a tea, like a milk tea from the yaks, and also, you know, a big clump of butter. And I was thinking, oh nice, you know, butter and pita bread, and they just put the big clump of butter in the tea. So it was actually the pita bread you eat on its own, and actually the big clump of butter which is in the hot milky tea. So it's good, extra calories, extra carbs. You know, they're all quite stocky up here on the mountains because it's harsh environments. It drops to about minus 35, probably minus 40 in the mountains. What is your purpose in life? Purpose in life. I think, you know, we live one life. It's important that you enjoy it, experience it, soak it up, meet people, make friends, share experiences, create memories, and just enjoy it as much as possible. So what I'm doing is trying to enjoy it to the best of my abilities, but also trying to help people along the way, especially with water to go. You know, providing fresh drinking water to communities in China, or spreading awareness about the lemur network conservation in Madagascar, or raising awareness on global warming and the threat it has on the nomadic way of life in Mongolia. So as long as I can do what I love doing, but help people along the way and you know, be a tiny little part of making a small difference, especially with the likes of Malaria No More UK too, then that feels like a good purpose to life for me. As long as you get out there, enjoy it, fulfill it, make the most of it, you know, then, and people like different things, people like different stuff, so whatever you like, try your best to get out there and soak it up, enjoy it, do what you got to do, and help people along the way, and share the journey. You know, that's what I like doing. I like sharing the journey. I never used to in Vietnam, Cambodia, just off the radar, no map, no punch or repair kit on the bike, no pump, no technology whatsoever. But it was actually after Mongolia that I found out, wow, people are actually interested in following the journey, which was very humbling and very inspiring. So I cracked on and wanted to make it as interactive as possible. Yes, take care, Ollie. Cheers, buddy. Speak soon. I'll give it another 5 minutes, then I must shoot. I must crack on. But what else did you love? Do I like the children in China? You mean, or you mean just in general? I like their energy. Yes, children have a lot of energy, a lot of big dreams, a lot of big ambitions, and I like that. Can you show us your signature pose at the end of your journey? Yes. So I need my Welsh flag for that, my Welsh and my British flag for that. But you know the pose, it's got to be done. And that's an important part of it as well, is visualization, you know. And even in the mountains, actually, on day one, I was picturing Shanghai. You know, it's, take care, Martin. It's, I don't have the Welsh flag with me, only because actually it's pretty sensitive up here in the mountains. You know, I'm on the border between China and Tibet. And so I don't really want to be carrying any flags, just to keep everyone happy, effectively. But I will get the flag closer to the end, the UK and the Welsh flag, and I will do the pose, Jess, you know, in the air, screaming, shouting, yes. What pose? You know the pose, that pose. Any... Yes, thanks, Gary. Cheers for logging in, bud, and I'll speak to you again soon. Take care. The horse cord, I've gone through that. Are you confident you prepared enough? Good question. Yes, absolutely. Very confident. You know, as I said, this expedition is full of unknowns. That's the difficulty about it. But I feel I've tried to think of the worst case scenario over and over again, mentally trying to drill it into me. You know, the bears, the wolves, hopefully no dehydration like the Gobi Desert. If I face dehydration, I'm clearly lost because I'm not following a river. But the isolation, the rapids as well, crossing the tributaries. So I feel like I've tried to cover as much as I possibly can, for sure. Do I have a girlfriend? No, I do not have a girlfriend. I think it'd be bad, you know, if I had a girlfriend. She'd be just back at home in the UK. whilst I'd be travelling the world doing these crazy things. So I like to keep that single, stay single for the time being, for sure. Any more questions? A couple of minutes left. I've still got a load on here, but too much to get through really. There's no volcanoes along the way, for someone who asked here. Did you have altitude sickness? No, I didn't. Fortunately, I could feel... Yes, take care, Ellis. Take care. Yes, appreciate that. Thank you. Yes. I will be talking again, hopefully another UK tour when I get back, after completing this mighty mission first. Which journey taught you the most about... good question. I would say... Vietnam was hilarious because we took absolutely nothing, you know, a 1,130 mile cycle with nothing, no pump, no punch or repair kit, absolutely nothing. But Mongolia is when I really went to town, because a lot of people were telling me it's impossible, and that started mentally breaking me down. And so I thought the only way to physically achieve this is if I prepare for every worst case scenario. So I did, and I still almost messed up with the dehydration in the Gobi Desert. But I prepared just enough and trained hard enough to just about make it. You know, a lot of people might say, "Oh, that's luck, that's lucky," but you know, I like to believe we all have our way, and my way is the training and the preparation. I love the training, and the preparation is just so important. So I think the more prepared you are, the more ready you are, and the more ready you are, the more you're able to prevent bad stuff from happening. Yeah, Mongolia. It was a wild place, but I think Madagascar was probably tougher. But this, I don't know, this is on maybe another level again. It's too soon to say yet, but the fact that four people bailed within the first 3 days says a lot. You know, this is a 12-month expedition, so that's quite worrying. And sometimes I do feel, you know, do I go solo, do I go alone? But I think it's important to have that good videographer for the content and a guide for the education factor. So it's the right choice to get a new team, head back out in the mountains this week, Thursday, maybe Friday, get started by the weekend for sure. And so yeah, did you have altitude sickness? I didn't have altitude sickness. I felt the thin air a little bit, you know, but I trained hard. I trained hard with that altitude training mask as well, as I'm sure you noticed. So yes, I felt good. Which gives me confidence, ready to go back up this time around, you know, for sure. What else have we got? Favourite meal? Favourite meal depends. I've got my ration packs, which is like chicken tikka masala, chili con carne, so I love that. I love all of that. Peanut butter still wins though. You know, nothing beats peanut butter or cheese on toast. Chicken is number one. Chicken is definitely number one. I forgot about chicken. How the hell can I forget about chicken? What's the biggest difference between this and the rest? The biggest difference between this and the rest is the temperature, the duration, and the diversity. You know, completely different. This is completely different to Mongolia actually, and it was completely different to Madagascar. What is my dream? I think we'll make this the last question. My dream. You know, I think it's probably the same as the answer to the previous question of what's my purpose. I think if I continue doing this, continue doing what I love, but helping people along the way, helping organisation and good causes, helping to hopefully inspire, make a small difference, but live life to the fullest, you know, creating memories, creating experiences, meeting new people. That for me ticks all of the boxes. So yeah, that's my dream. I'm living the dream. So as long as I can continue this, that'd be great. You know, I've got to survive this mission and make it back in one piece. But yeah, but this has been great. I'm gonna end it there. This has been good. I'm gonna try to do that. This is my first live Q&A ever, actually. My first one on YouTube as well, especially. So, you know, appreciate you tuning in. We'll keep developing it over the next year. I'll keep logging in and keeping you guys updated. You know, this is 3 days, so there's been a lot of questions, a lot of answers. Can you imagine in another month's time? It's going to be insane. But no, thanks again. Appreciate you guys joining, logging in, asking questions, getting involved. So, you know, make sure you do subscribe to the YouTube channel. That will help me a lot in building and you know, being more focused on making the Q&As through YouTube rather than Instagram or Facebook. I think it's the right thing to go through YouTube. So yeah, please do share, spread the word, and continue to follow the journey. Appreciate it, guys, and take care. Speak soon.